Hey guys, so as you can see, this is a little different. I've got a camera. I actually got it set up. You can actually see my face. Anywho, this is kind of a little introduction to this episode. It's going to be a long one, mostly because we kind of had a new idea since we're all in quarantine and everybody's dealing with coronavirus. We have friends with kids, you know, my partner and I have some pretty weak immune systems, so we're doing all we can just to stay safe. So we've gone to a digital game night. I mentioned before that I have game night with my friends a lot, and we wanted to try something out before we kind of bring it to our group of friends. So this episode is part one of a one-shot little game that I made based on Chronicles of Darkness and Worlds of Darkness. It's based on some spooky stuff in Russian history, creepypastas, and actual historical events. I wanted to throw something a little creepy at my friends and see how that worked out. So this is the first half of that. It's about an hour long, so brace yourselves. You're gonna be here for a little bit. But I promise you, we had a lot of fun doing this, and we wanted to do something a little different for Ouija Wednesday. And I want to do something a little different other than just a research hiatus episode. And I'm still gonna, you know, get those out in between stuff, like in between game nights and such. But for now, I really think it would be really fun for us to do digital things until, you know, the quarantine is lifted, the shelter in place is lifted, because I want to encourage people to stay safe. And, you know, I love tabletop gaming, and so do my friends. We love it. So Caitlin, Riley, and I are huge nerds, and, you know, we kind of took a page out of the book of, like, Mathis Games, who we adore, by the way, and, you know, roll for it, and other gamers out there who actually record their tabletops, and they do it digitally. So I'm using a different platform than most, one that I'm really familiar with, Zoom. I do pay for it, but it's very low cost, and it's really amazing because Zoom kind of auto records on its own, has great chat features, you can have long running meetings, and you can really have the opportunity to admin, and I'm just super familiar with it from past jobs, and I really love this platform. So I'm using it to record, and then I am using, of course, the lovely YouTube for you all to see it. So if you do like this, please check out part 2. It's going to come out next week, because I still need to edit that part. But for now, this is the first part. I will say in advance, quick forewarning, there's a lot of cuts towards the beginning, because there was a lot of getting the meeting set up, dealing with some technical difficulties, because we're working from 3 different computers, and they are in a house that is very loud right now, because it's Riley and Caitlin who are currently together at his house. And, you know, Riley is roommates with another good friend of ours, and his wife, and their baby, so you can hear those 3 in the background a lot. But, you know, we make do with what we can do, because, you know, we're still trying to be social and be together without being social and being together. Anyway, I'm going to stop rambling here in a second, but just want to give you a heads up on that. So, thank you for coming to Ouija Wednesday, and thank you for joining me in the House of Spoop, and thank you for hanging out with us. And I hope you're looking forward to this session. I hope you enjoy this little session. We had some goofy moments and some slow moments, but I did work really hard on this story, and I worked pretty hard on this campaign. This has been a couple weeks in progress, finally coming to fruition. I did have some technical difficulties with character sheets, so there was a little, you know, creating characters on the fly based off concepts I already had, because I was trying to make this an entirely pre-built system that they could just jump in and enjoy, which hence a lot of cuts towards the beginning. I did try to post a little bit of the narrative in the video, so you'll see some flashes of info. If you do want me to actually post the info, I'm happy to do it. I'm going to try and put some stuff in the description below for the video. Right down there. And if you do want actual information on the campaign and want, like, my notes and stuff, feel free to email me. You know how to reach me, and I'll, you know, email description below. And I'm happy to shoot you that stuff. Also, like, just enjoy it. We have fun, and we try to have fun. We try to hang out. So stay safe, stay healthy, social distance, but still be together as much as you can. Safely. Away from each other. Anyway, this is Ouija Wednesday, and this is part 1 of the Dyatlov Pass, The Returning. In the winter of 1959, 9 Russian hikers died under mysterious circumstances in the northern Ural Mountains, native to Russia. Now deemed the Dyatlov Pass for the leader of the expedition, Igor Dyatlov, there's much speculation about what lies in these mountains. The year is 1972, and you are running a new expedition into the northern Ural Mountains to investigate the area. A new report was filed with missing persons in Russia. A member of your university's faculty was among a recent expedition, and you were being sent as experts to find this faculty member and possibly discover the truth of what occurred in these terrible mountains. There are 3 major party members leading this expedition. Kosorokov Makar Ilyich, originally from Russia, a biologist, expert hiker, and is familiar with the northern mountains. Anna Renee Spencer, an expert in local legends, an anthropologist, and also an expert hiker and survivalist. And then Max Mikhail Hartness, the tech expert and survivalist. Their expertise lies in extreme survival, and they are knowledgeable as a multilinguist. Communications are a strong suit. Kosurikov Makar Ilyich, you were originally from Russia, so your concept is a biologist, expert hiker, and mountain expert. You are 32 years old. You are 6'2" and a male. You have dark hair with a buzz cut and dark brown eyes. You are muscular, and you are built to endure and survive. Your virtue is honesty, and your vice is hatefulness. You were born and raised in Russia before attaining a position at an American university in the late 60s. You're 32, and you've already had a decade of experience at hiking, studying biology and its natural habitat. And when you joined the university in 1969, you brought all of your expertise with you. You were asked to join this expedition because of your experience and expertise and your knowledge of, quote-unquote, Mother Russia. In a time where suspicions are very much still at the forefront of everybody's mind because of Russia, you're an invaluable asset for communications for the team. You're making Max's job much easier because you are Russian. You are hateful of ignorance and those that disrupt the natural biology of the world. Deforestation and habitat destruction are the bane of your existence, and you're very much against development if it means encroaching on the natural world. You went into this.
Definitely play this character.
Yeah. You went into this field of study early before even considering pursuing your degrees because of your hatefulness. You wanted to study the world and think of ways to support it without destroying it. Your paranoia, which is going to be your condition.
Is that a flaw or?
If you have the Chronicles of Darkness sheet, there is an actual section called condition. But yes, it does count. It's the exact same thing as your flaw.
Oh, yeah, I don't have that.
Okay. Well, to make a note, your flaw is paranoia. And it centers around the motivations of others, and you are just incredibly distrustful of others. Okay. You've only been acquainted with your team for 6 months, so you're still warming up to them. So you are still a little wary of the people around you.
Okay.
Riley.
Yo.
Ready?
Ready as I'll ever be.
You are Anna Renee Spencer. You are 28 years old.
Okay.
You have long auburn hair, usually in a ponytail or a bun. Unless you're trying to get your way, then it's going to be let down and you have a nice curl to it.
So the concept that I put in as a joke, thought queen is correct. Got it.
A little bit, actually. You have hazel eyes, incredibly beautiful features, and you're very striking.
Okay.
You're well-defined, you have a larger chest than most, and you're lean and semi-muscular on the legs, arms, and thighs. That's just a visual. Your virtue is courageous, and your vice is ambitious.
Courageous and ambitious.
Your concept is an overly ambitious anthropologist and hiker. And some of your backstory, and then I'm going to private message you your flaw. Anna Spencer, you, age 29, are one of the best anthropologists at the university, considered close to the top of your field. You're overly ambitious, doing whatever you can to claw your way to the top. You started from below the bottom, slamming into every glass ceiling possible and shattering all of them. Your single mother was broke and working 2 to 3 jobs at a time to support you and your twin brother, Alexander. You did what you could to support your mother, and she did what she could to get you into a good university, and you worked your way through all of your degrees and into the faculty. You pursued renown in your field any way you could, and the fact that you're beautiful did play to your advantage. You were chosen for this expedition due to your relationship with the department head at your university, and you're in the top running for tenure should this project succeed. So you have a lot riding on this. You were key in securing the grant money for this project, as well as for the project of the previous missing faculty member, Michael Traeger. His grant money was mostly due to you before he disappeared in the past. And a rumor has circulated, Caitlin, this is also public knowledge, that maybe Anna and Michael Traeger were in a relationship before he disappeared.
Oh yeah, we were smashing hard.
Yep. And Riley, I'm going to send you a private message. All right. Riley, you just received a private message about your embarrassing secret. So that's a note for you to take. I'm going to go ahead and give Riley his independent list because you guys are going to have separate lists of equipment, and then you're going to have a major list of equipment that you can just remember in the back of your mind, and I'm going to have it marked here so you can ask me if you have something and I will tell you. So Riley.
Yes.
You have in your personal belongings an observation notebook, a disposable camera. You have a tape recorder with 5 tapes.
Okay, pause. Disposable camera or just normal camera?
It's a disposable camera.
Okay.
You have the files on the location you were headed to and on the entirety of the project that you were heading alongside Max McHale. You know the schedule for when you need to check into your campsite and for when you should be returning back to the trailhead at the mountain.
Okay.
And then you have a mini radio and a hunting knife.
Okay. A mini radio. And did you say I had like a camcorder or something, or am I just crazy?
You have a tape recorder and 5 tapes.
Tape recorder.
Yeah, like, so my mom had a little handheld tape recorder in like the 90s. Think of one of those, but like 70s version, so it's a little clunkier.
Okay, and then is this like a K-bar, or is this just like a little baby pocket knife?
It's about yay big hunting knife.
Okay, so yeah, K-bar.
You will also have a utility knife, like one of those little like red utility knives as well. But this is like an actual like.
What's the damage on the knife? Is it just 1?
Yes, and
I know the size for it. It's just a 1S.
Mhm.
Okay, and then
yeah, I think you're actually the only one without a gun. Sorry.
Oh, that's fine. Literally did not put any points into weaponry at all, so oh boy.
Yeah. I didn't say that the others knew how to use their guns. I just said that they have guns.
Very also true.
Alright. I am ready for...
Okay. Your individual list?
Yeah.
So you have a sampling specimen kit, and that has 5 vials, 5 petri dishes.
Oh, wait, okay. Let's get rid of this. I'm gonna write these notes on, so sampling... Oh, okay. Specimen kit. Hang on, sorry.
You're good.
5 vials, 5 petri dishes.
Mm-hmm. And these are the kinds that have like the sealable lids on them so that you can just stash them, put them away in your bag. You have a dropper and preservation fluid.
Okay.
You have gloves and medical grade scissors.
Is this all in the kit?
Yep.
Okay, gloves and...
Medical grade scissors. So snip, snip.
Mm-hmm.
And a scalpel.
Okay, and then scalpel.
Yep. And then you have a mountain range map for the area.
Okay. Give me a second.
You're good.
Range map for the... Wait, let me see. For the area. Okay.
And you have a lab notebook.
Notebook, yep.
And I must like you more because you have a small revolver.
I did not take anything in weaponry.
That's okay. Didn't say you know how to use it. You have a small revolver for emergencies, and that does 1 lethal damage.
Okay.
And I believe you get a +1 with the revolver.
Does it have a dice mod?
Yeah, +1.
Oh, okay. +1, and then range.
20, 40, 80.
20, 40, 80. Okay.
Yep. And then, so this is standard equipment that you both have, but I have the list here. I'm just going to rattle it off. It's basic hiking gear. If you come into a situation, you're like, hey, do I happen to have this on hand? I will tell you yes or no.
Sorry about that.
Huh? What was that?
It's good. We're good. Keep going.
Okay. So just rattling it off, you both have a hiking pack, snow gear, you have prepared clothing for the cold weather, sleeping pads, you each have your own one-man tent and a sleeping bag, you have a hot water bottle, some jerky, trail mix, dark chocolate, a regular water bottle, a hygiene kit, a purifier with deodorant and generic soap, and you have a flashlight, a compass, utility knife, and you both have a basic first aid kit. So if you come into a situation where you're like, hey, do I have this in my pack? I will tell you yes or no, just to keep things simple and to get things moving.
Makes life easy.
Okay. So once you all are settled in, we'll get into the fake story.
I am set. I will mute unless I am talking. Just
Okay.
Yeah, just be wary for
Okay.
your audience too that I live with other people.
Yes. Those friends and that baby that we didn't sacrifice.
I mean, it could be their ghosts. Ooh. Or aliens. Always aliens.
Always aliens. Chilluminati put out a new episode.
I know. I gotta listen to that, and I still have an episode of freaking Vampire the Masquerade that Mathis and Roll For It put out. Oh.
Nice. Caitlin, are you all good to go?
Yep, just trying to mute my mic because of everything going on.
Gotcha. All right. You can also message me privately for independent questions as we move forward. So if we're ready to go forward, for the information on the missing faculty member, this will be in Anna's files. So this is mostly for you, Riley, but you have some basic information for Caitlin, who is playing Kosurikov. Michael Traeger was 42 and male and a faculty member of the university at which you both work. Anna and Dr. Traeger were in a relationship. Or at least so says the rumor. Traeger was very handsome at 42. He had brown eyes, short, wavy brown hair. He was 5'10", lean, well-defined. He was a survivalist, an anthropologist, and an expert in the Russian language. He had a particular fascination with the Dyatlov expedition and pushed for this grant funding for about 10 years, ever since the disappearances of the original party. And it took those 10 years for this trip to even be approved and for this project to be approved. For his project, yours came very soon after when he went missing. He traveled with 3 expert Russian hikers, and he was declared missing by Russian authorities after not following up at the designated check-ins. So that's the information on Michael Traeger. So,
But did he have a beard?
I'm sure he was a little, like, scruffy after hiking.
Okay, I like a man with a little scruff.
Mm-hmm. All right. So, now, the accompanying person on your team is Max Mikhail Hartness. This is going to be an NPC. I will be working with Max. Max is 26 years old and is 5'11". They have short, sandy blonde hair, kind of like Mia Farrow in Rosemary's Baby. Lean, semi-muscular, very androgynous. Body fit much more for stamina and dexterity than strength. Both of you, upon meeting Max for the first time, really have a hard time identifying gender, and Max never refers to himself as male or female, so it's kind of up to you to guess. They're very courageous. They're very much a tech prodigy. At 26, Max was considered a tech prodigy and was very well known as a survivalist. 13, they discovered an affinity for technology, and they never looked back. 20, they realized they were better suited for wilderness than, urban life. They started pursuing survivalism. So at 26, Max is an incredibly well-known tech expert, survivalist, and communications expert, and Max's degree is in communications. Max was one of the first people on the line for this project. Max and Anna actually headed this project together because Anna is the lead anthropologist and Max is the communications expert and survivalist expert. Caitlin Kosurikov is the second lead, kind of worked with Max on making sure that conditions were proper for when you were up on the mountain, making sure everything was arranged. He was very much consulting on the survivalism aspect, and Anna very much consulted on communications and anthropology of the area. And, as someone who was born in Russia and raised in Russia, Kosurikov was very helpful in that regard for the small village at the foot of the mountain and figuring out Russian customs and all those things. So Max is very much androgynous, and sometimes the two of you do actually wonder whether Max is female or male. You both have found yourself referring to Max as he, and Max has never corrected you. So it doesn't necessarily mean he's a dude, but for now, you refer to him as he. Okay?
Yeah.
All right. Oh, also, due to Max's absolute reverence and belief in technology, Kosurikov and Max really butt heads a lot. Max does have a healthy dose of respect for nature as a survivalist, but Max is also technology move forward. And because you, Caitlin, as Kosurikov, are very much nature always, even though you are a biologist and all for improvement, as long as that doesn't encroach on nature. So you kind of butt heads a little bit on that, but you do connect on a survivalist aspect. So that's something to keep in mind. And now we begin. So you have left the United States. You're in Russia. You are heading toward the Ural Mountains. You're both a little wary of what's to come, and then Max is very much gung-ho move forward, even if they are a little ADHD on side. And you know the most about Traeger. You know the most about how obsessed they were with the Dyatlov project, how obsessed they were with finding out what happened. There's so many theories about what happened to them already in the last decade, and you were behind Traeger and supporting Traeger. Excuse the pun. You were supporting Traeger in really what they were doing, and you were part of that. So at the moment, you're in a small village at the foot of the mountain range, and you're staying overnight in a hostel that's been standing a decade too long, and you spend most of the waking evening in the dingy bar eating food from a kitchen that any health inspector in the U.S. would shut down in an instant. What are you doing?
Well, what time is it approximately? And we're leaving the next day, correct?
Yes, I'd say it's about 5 o'clock. It's already getting really dark. The weather is just very icy and already kind of chilling you to the bone. There's kind of a general sense of dread in the village, and you can't quite figure out why. And also, if you can see that, and kind of in general proximity, your village is at the base of the mountain. And then I can go ahead and share that map.
That'd be much appreciative.
Yep. Those maps are uploaded, and ideally this should share because it's an actual image that I pulled from my Dropbox. So let's see here. Excuse me. Double checking something, that's the correct map because I don't want to give anything away.
Yeah, don't do that.
No, that would be bad.
Very bad.
Yep, that's
boy.
that one. So, let me to everyone. I'm attaching a file. It is an image of a hand-drawn map. Basically, there is a dotted line marking kind of the trail you're going to be taking up the mountain to the pass. You are currently in the small marked village at the base of the mountain. So this is kind of where you are in range to everything else.
Beautiful.
Yep.
Let me download this image so I can open it. Boom. Open file. Okay. Village. Cool.
And it's sorry.
Sorry. Our goal is to we're finding Trigger, correct? That like
yes. Your mission here is to find Trigger, find out what happened to Trigger. You are probably a little more invested than the other two members of your expedition, but yeah. That's neither here nor there.
If I may take the reins for a moment, then I am going to go. And is there like in this time period has the Dyatlov path become like more of a tourist trap, or is it more hush than usual?
You're in a very, so it's the 70s. It's 1972. You are in a small Russian village, the foot of a mountain base. There's really nothing else around. There's not a lot of technology here, even for the 70s.
Do I know then if Trig came through here?
This village is the only village stop Traeger would have been required to come here, because this is the primary check-in before you go up the mountain.
Okay. I would like to go speak to like the check-in office then.
Okay. Can you roll for me a socialize and a streetwise?
So.
Oh, sorry. Streetwise plus wits.
Wits and streetwise. Cool. I have nothing in streetwise, so it's just 2 dice.
Oh, it's gonna be fun.
I got an 8 and a 2, so 1 success.
1 success. You can find the check-in office. So the check-in office is literally the bartender.
Oh God! Wow, this is small.
It's such a small town that the hostel you're staying at has, like I said, a very dingy bar attached to the hostel where people eat who are staying here. This bartender knows everything in and out. He's the one who checked you in your room, singular, with like cots. He is the one who kind of gave you the information you needed for the project.
Cool. I will go speak to this gentleman.
Okay.
Hey, darling, how you doing there?
That was his response.
So, then thank you so much for getting our room set up. I appreciate that very, very much, sir. But there was a gentleman. How far back was it that he came through?
Very recently, no more than like a month or so.
In the last month, go back, pull into the back reaches of that beautiful mind. I'm sure you have. There was a gentleman. I'll give him a descriptor of Trig. Do you recall this man coming through the pass?
He's gonna give you a look and go, nah. As in, like, nodding in affirmation and making just grunting noises.
Okay. I'm going to pull out the seduction techniques on him.
You do have a picture of Traeger, by the way, in the project file.
Yeah, I'll hand him the picture, and with manipulation and persuasion, which I'm also going to seduce this man, so I have a total of 9 dice that I'm playing with, because I'm an asshole.
All right, what are you rolling? Sorry.
I'm rolling manipulation and persuasion.
I'll give him a fighting chance.
Yep. I'm just going to, like, touch his hand and kind of rub it a little bit and be like, I'm sure there's something there. You can pull it out. Maybe just a thought. Maybe just a conversation they had. A 10 and no. It's like, oh, there's a fail. So wow, I had 9 dice, and I got like a couple 7s, but those aren't successes. So yeah, I have a 10 and a 1. So nothing. God. Wait, hang on.
So you are like pulling out the boot. Oh, you're gonna spend a willpower soon? Jesus! All right.
Absolutely. Hey, I would do anything for
You're good.
my man. I got 2 9s. Okay, 2 successes.
There we go. Yeah. So you beat him because I only had 1 success because it was just a 1-2 die. Otherwise, you would have sucked so bad. So you're pulling out the works, and it seems to work a little bit. He seems to get a little more warmed to your presence. He's still very much gruff and very a quiet gentleman because that's just the people of this village. They don't really get people coming through here, so you're all strangers just kind of invading for this project and this expedition. The gist of the conversation, of course, he remembers Traeger. It was not too long ago. They don't get a lot of people through here. Do you know Russian?
I do not know Russian.
Because he doesn't know a whole lot of English. So, how do you want to work this?
Shit.
Caitlin, I don't know if I told you, but Kosurikov speaks fluent Russian because he was raised here and he's multilingual. Sorry. I'm assuming that was an assumption, but
I'm gonna go wink at the gentleman I'm talking to and give him like the one second. I'll be right back, and I'm gonna go grab my Russian pal.
Your compatriot?
Yes. Yeah. How do you pronounce his fucking name again?
Kosurikov?
Kov, got it. Hey, Kov, Klishnikov, can you follow me just for a second? I need you.
Caitlin, your name is Kosurikov, by the way.
Should I, though?
Play the character. You can be as pissed as you want.
I told you not to call me by that name.
Oh, that's right. That's a rifle. Oh, I'm so sorry. You're just so big and strong and feel like you can pummel someone.
And apparently she's Southern.
But can you be just a doll and come with me real quick? I need you to help me out. It's to do with my, our
expedition?
Our friend we're looking for.
Is that the word you're looking for?
No, I was being very emotional.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, sorry. I get very emotional when I talk about it. I'm sorry. Okay. I'm good. Just can you be a doll, please?
Sorry, I'm dying. This is great.
Quick question out of game.
Sure.
Do I speak English and Russian?
Yes, you're bilingual because you were born semi-raised there, and then you moved to the States, so you're good.
Sure, I guess. If you stop calling me that.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll do my best. You correct me whenever you feel like it.
All right.
Take a deep breath. Fine.
All right.
So I go up to the bartender.
Okay. He just kind of stares at you for a minute.
So, we are looking, I'll obviously speak in Russian.
Mm-hmm.
So, we are looking for our friend.
Slide him the picture.
Bartender looks at you. Native, yes?
What? Mayev, yes?
He's speaking to you in Russian. He's like, you're native to this country, yes?
Yes.
What are you doing with this, American?
We are on an expedition to find someone. We don't know where they are. That's why.
Yes, I remember. He's speaking fluently in Russian now, Riley.
Yeah, I don't have a fucking clue what's going on.
Yeah. No, he's happy to speak with Kosurikov, because fellow Russian. He comes down, he He was in his room the whole time. He spent like exactly 30 minutes in the bar, eat some food, drink some things. Only thing he asks about is Dyatlov.
Oh, come again?
Only thing he asks about is Dyatlov, Igor. The other man in the party before, that's what he called it, Dyatlov.
Okay.
That's all he said.
Okay.
Yep.
Do you know where he went after he had his multiple drinks and stayed in his room?
Back to his room, and he was only here for the one night, like you are, and went on his way up the mountain.
Oh, Cuff, can you translate? I want to know what's going on. I feel very left out right now, and, you don't want to leave a pretty lady like me left out.
Are you trying to roll seduction on her? I'm just curious.
Oh, no. I'm just... You're muted.
Caitlin.
I am taking some notes, sorry.
You're good. You're all good. This is so entertaining.
Just hang on there. Go away.
Oof.
Gonna take my bosom and drink my whatever this is, cocktail. Not a cocktail.
Probably vodka.
Probably vodka. Not even grenadine in this.
No, it's shitty vodka because this is a shitty bar.
Yep.
It's a good thing they don't know English, or else they'd know I'd be talking shit about their. I wouldn't even call this alcohol.
Yeah, it's because you drink moonshine. Apparently. You just went super southern.
I was not told where she was from.
No, you were not.
All right. So, just went up the mountain. Is there anything else you could tell me?
The bartender really doesn't know much more than that, because, like your group, this was just kind of the hostel that you checked in. You stayed overnight just to prepare for the going up the mountain. Hot meal before you leave, that kind of thing.
Yeah. All right.
This on your project file. This hostel was never more than just a check-in. So you had the check-in beforehand, and you had the check-in after. And if things if you don't check in on your suspected return date, then he's told to go to the authorities in the village.
Oh dang.
Yeah.
All
because right. It's a dangerous trek, and it's a very steep mountain. You're going into snow-covered mountains, and it's going to be pretty bad up there.
All right. Well, I tell the bartender thank you, and
yes.
Baby. And I will go find Anna, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, did you get anything good, or was this all wasting my time?
No, he did talk about the group before us. He only asked about, what was it called? I'm sorry.
Dyatlov.
Dyatlov.
Okay.
He apparently had a couple of drinks.
Ate some food,
was here at the bar for like 30 minutes before going back to his room, and all he could think about was Dyatlov.
It sounds like him for sure. All right, we might as well get our rest and head out in the morning.
All right.
Are either of you communicating with Max at all, or is Max just...
Well, we're all in the same room, so I would let him know and be like...
Max is just very much just kind of observing the situation. Max is a very quiet ADHD kind of person.
Yeah.
Speaking of Max, I actually wanted to talk to him. Sorry,
okay.
Sweetheart. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to make sure that Max knew what I just told Anna.
All right. Well, that's cool. Figured there wasn't much here anyway, so.
I'm probably going to finish up eating and then head to my room.
I will do the same because we've got a long journey ahead of us.
We're all sharing just the same room, right?
Yeah, it's one room with like 3 cots. And there's like 2 hostel bathrooms in the entire place. It's not a very expansive village.
It's pretty warm inside, right?
There is a fire going in the bar downstairs. You know, they've got technology that's modern enough for like the late 60s. It's not quite up to date of the 70s.
So I have like a little cast iron stove inside the room.
Yeah, well, you have a little space heater in your room. Okay. All food and drink are served downstairs.
Okay. These cots are just awful, and I'd much rather sleep near the heat. So I'm gonna like take the mattress or just the entire cot and scoot it over.
You do have a sleeping bag and sleeping pad if you'd prefer to break out your kit.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull that stuff out because I don't want to be like cold. And then I'm gonna strip down to my skivvies and have a conversation with Max while I'm inside my sleeping bag.
All right.
Yeah. Max, why did you come with us?
This is my expedition. I was the first one in line. You need a true survivalist, and you know, as soon as the opportunity popped up, who doesn't want to check out the Dyatlov incident? You know, if we've got the grant funding for it, I'm here.
Yeah, but like, why Dyatlov? For some reason, I'm sure there's 100 other.
There's so many theories about this. I want to find out what happened. There's so many things could have happened. You know, like was it the weather? Was it disturbance? He kind of trails off and just kind of like being like, God, there's so many theories. I really want to find out just what happened. I'm just so curious. Also, chance to get into the Russian mountains, man. Like this is an intense journey for a lot of survivalists. This is like some next level. So this will be fun.
All right, if you say so. Well, if you get a little cold, you can come over and snuggle up to Anna.
I'm good. You're not really my type.
Oh, what about that? Our Russian friend over there. Is that more your speed?
Nobody is really my type.
Oh, well, if you change your mind.
Appreciate it, but that's not really my thing. You should get some sleep.
All right. Well, I'm gonna call it a night there.
Okay.
I love how I love how you lost someone near and dear to you, and you're already trying to flirt with somebody else.
I am like a potential widow, and I am trying to cope. Thank you very much. Don't slut shame me.
You weren't married.
Relationship widow, you know what I mean? It's hard, regardless. We all cope in our own ways, and some of us just, you know,
turn into sluts. I got you.
Exactly.
That is not originally how I wrote the character, but you know what? I feel like you're going in a great direction with this, so I'm gonna run with it.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Kosurikov, you doing anything before bedtime? Caitlin, that's you.
Oh, you're muted, sweetheart.
Oh my gosh,
You're good.
Stop doing that mute. Do the other mute.
No, this mute is fine.
But Kosurikov, you doing anything, or are you going to sleep as well?
I was just gonna finish up after relaying all the information and
awesome.
Being like, peace, I'm going to bed.
All right, so the three of you are kind of snuggled up as much as you can be and as comfortable as you can be in this room. Grant funding only goes so far when it comes to booking hostels in foreign countries, because you have to consider there was a lot involved for traveling and preparations for getting here. You do also have some extensive equipment in Max's repertoire, because you are going up there to like observe and stuff. So the night passes pretty not eventfully, but it's not exactly a restful sleep. You know, you're all just kind of nervous about getting up and ready to get up on the mountain tomorrow. It's not the most comfortable. You've had a long travel to get here. You've gone through a lot to get here. You're in an unfamiliar place. So when morning hits, you are up and at 'em at 4 a.m.
Oh, man. This Southern Belle needs more sleep than that. Oh, boy.
Yeah, well, we got to get up and get towards that mountain because we got to get through the forest and get up there. So, up and at 'em, guys. That's nice.
All right. Come on, Cobb. Let's up and Adams. Let's get Adams. Unmute yourself.
I literally unmute it and it goes back to being mute. What is happening?
You probably have it set to auto mute.
Fine. No, it's like my just my mute key on my computer.
Yeah, just do the Alt-A for the Zoom one. That way you can see it.
It's basically the same thing, babe. I can see it.
Okay.
I'm
All
just
right.
letting you know.
All right.
Anyways, I get pissed at Anna for calling me that again.
All right. What would you rather me call you then?
His
By my
name
name.
is Kosurakov.
That's just a little too.
Riley, I want you to say it with me. Kosurakov.
Hey, I'm playing the character.
No, I'm just kidding. Shit. Continue. Sorry.
Okay, can I call you at like K? How about K?
No, that sounds gay.
Well, only if you want it to be.
Caitlin, the word for no in Russian is niet, by the way.
Isn't it just 9?
No, that's German.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, you're Russian. So niet is a very good way to express that if you want.
All right, I'll keep trying. Forgive my sweet, sweet strawberry blonde heart.
You have auburn hair.
Said she was the brightest. I'm only an anthropologist.
You have an intelligence of 4.
Hey, she can be book smart, but yeah.
All right.
Okay, I will let you go on this one. You can call me Cobb, and that's it.
Okay, I won't call you Kalishnikov because I know that's offensive in your country. Oh wait, we're in your country. That's right.
Max is kind of watching this unfold and being like, what the fuck is going on?
All right. Well, Anna will, roll up her sleeping bag in her mat and get that all put away and get ready to go and
Y'all getting
eat
all
whatever
packed up?
passes off as food.
You can head downstairs, but the kitchen's still closed. They're not going to open up until like 6 a.m. So you're basically working off of
Whatever
some leftover dry rations that they maybe have behind the bar. So some jerky, some nuts, maybe a shot of vodka to get you warm.
Oh, heck yeah, I'll take that.
All right. Well, you're Russian. Of course you would. Apologies in advance to anybody who's Russian. I'm sorry, I'm going off stereotypes.
And apologies to anyone who's a woman. I do not identify as that, and I
appreciate
a very bad job. I know.
Yeah, it's great. Total slut. We love you though, Riley.
Glad someone does.
Your girlfriend's right there.
You?
I know, right? So you guys get packed up. Your transport is a rickety old truck that the bartender kind of arranged previously. Thanks grant money. You had to pay this guy something handsome to get him even to go to the trailhead. Locals really don't like going to the mountain. Even the trailhead or like the way to get up the mountain. So you're driven up through the forest, there's kind of this sense of unease as you get through it, but then you get to the trailhead. Is there anything last minute you want to do before you really start the trek up the mountain?
Make sure I hydrate. I think that's
Yes.
a major one. Have water.
Roll 1, limber up.
Yeah, well, a note for you is that there is absolutely snow, and you have a boiling kit. Max has a food kit to boil water. So,
Wait.
yeah.
Wait, hang on.
Hmm?
Oh, okay. Sorry.
So if you're just kind of limbering up and getting ready, and then you're going to head up the trail.
Beautiful.
Yep. It's going to take you a bit. We'll say it'll take an entire day to get up where you need to get to.
Okay.
Actually, it'll take a lot longer than that, but we're going to skip over to being in the past for the sake of game because I don't want this to go on for ever and ever and ever. So,
Anna and I will just bicker like an old married couple.
yes,
Or-
absolutely.
Also with Max.
Yeah, no, Max is kind of just watching because Max really has no, Max is interested in the two of you as friends. So what I am about to add to I'm going to add 2 maps to the message.
Beautiful.
One is going to be the general map, and these are going to be in Anna's files. But I'm assuming you would show everyone.
Yeah, of course.
I have
Okay.
a map of the area.
Yes, you have an area map, but these are actually very specific images. This is the only information you have. This is a map of the area. You were told about the facility and guard tower in the top right-hand corner on the forest ridge.
Mm-hmm.
To you, that is kind of an off-limits area. You are in an area that does have some military presence, but
So is that a camp checkpoint?
That's your camp.
Okay, that's where we're getting.
And that is the second image I just uploaded. So I do need to ask, where are you setting up your tents?
I would assume at the camp checkpoint, like at the camp checkpoint.
Yeah, on the campsite map, would you be doing north of the point, or the center point, or west, or like that? I'm asking about situational wise. And Caitlin, this is also a question for you.
Okay.
Max will be setting up southeast.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Well, he's the expert, so I'm gonna also just chill next to him then.
You're also an expert.
Yeah.
Not an expert, not as much as he is.
Okay, so are you setting up your tent near him? Like, how far away do you think?
Is the goal here for us to like have a camp next to each other, or?
No, this is your entire camp location. That second image, that's the center point of your camp. This is your whole campsite.
Yeah,
this is your whole site.
Yeah, if we have like the campfire in the center, I'll just be towards the north end of that then.
You want to be on the north side?
Yeah, and I'll set up all my equipments.
Sweet, and I'll go for the east side.
Oh,
just
perfect.
So it goes, you said southeast, so southeast.
Yeah.
East,
So you're going east. Okay. Awesome. That is for me, just because I need to do some configuring. This is going to be fun. All right. So you're setting up your tents and get everything settled in your site. Are you doing anything, during the day? Are you starting a fire? Are you making food? Or are you going to be sticking to dry rations?
Get like a good fire going. Like the normal stuff. Like I can do like a wilderness roll to see like how well I like equip everything, I guess.
Yeah, no, go for it. I'm gonna have Max make a couple rolls to see just how well this equipment gets set up, because there's some monitoring equipment, just like some old cameras.
Do you want me to roll like dex, strength, or stamina for the wilderness?
I'd like you to roll. So what exactly are you going to be trying to do?
Just getting camp set up, and like the quality of it being set up, just to make life easy.
Try survival and shelter, by the way.
Survival roll. Oh, sorry, what was that, Caitlin?
I took survival and shelter, by the way.
Okay, so for Caitlin, go ahead and roll your survival. Use your bonus for shelter, absolutely. So that's +1, and then go ahead and roll your dex. And then Riley, I also want a survival and dexterity.
Cool. Hey, there we go. 2 10s and a 9.
So how many successes total?
3.
All right. Awesome. Yeah, you're fairly set up. Caitlin, how's it going over there?
Okay. Oh, I'm just... So if you take a specialty, that means you're skilled, right?
Yes. So you get a +1.
Yeah, you get a bonus die.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Oh, that's not bad at all. I'll take it.
I didn't fail, but I didn't get any... Oh, wait, that's a 9. Never mind. One success.
All right.
Out of 4 die.
So you got 1 success?
Yeah, but no
Perfect.
fails.
That's enough to have a standard setup. I mean, it's a one-man tent. If you failed, you'd probably need to ask for help. You'd be on the struggle bus. You wouldn't really have a good seal. So your tent is you're set up enough. You have a sleeping bag and warm layers, luckily. So your tent's probably a little less comfy than the others. Riley, how many successes?
I got 3.
3. You're pretty well set up. You've got your tarp down. You've got your one-man tent. You've got your hot water bottle all ready to go. You're set it up. You've got nice.
Do you have like a secondary, like those huge pop-up tents with the walls and stuff?
You do not have a secondary tent because you really are on a search and rescue expedition or a search and discover. You kind of have. You're all very much keep it to yourself.
Okay.
Max is set up in about like 10 minutes. Max beat all of you.
Oof.
Max had about 7 successes. Max is your survivalist. So Max is good to go. Max is basically done fast enough that Max is helping you guys set up. And honestly, Kosurikov, Max kind of helped you set up a little bit.
But is he man enough to admit it?
That's up to Kosurikov. Max basically was like, yeah, I'm done if you need some help. So
thanks, Max.
Yeah, basically that little nudge to help you get done past her. So
you're not that bad of a guy.
Thanks, I guess.
Or
I suppose.
Girl.
Yeah. What?
Person?
What?
You're not that bad of a person.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. To that one, he actually smirks a little bit, like, thanks. So you're all set up. So your tents are set up. What are your plans?
What time of day is it?
So it took you most of the day to hike. It's, you're set up so you have a place to sleep. You left about 4 a.m. Took you a couple days to get here.
Mm-hmm.
But you're set up. You're good to go. So I'd say we'll go about midday. Right? It's pretty dark because you got snow around you. However, I will say, for some reason, this campsite seems eerily calm. There's not a lot of bad weather like you experienced hiking up the mountain.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as you hit the pass in this checkpoint, it's like a calm just hit the entire area around you. It's like it was waiting for you.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that.
Are there any other people around?
There wouldn't be because you're in a mountain pass. That is not really open to hikers.
Okay.
Yeah, we basically had to get permission and a bunch of fucking papers signed to get it done.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That's why it's a very big project and it's a very big deal that Traeger disappeared, considering there's a military facility not too far away.
All right. Let me look at my little mappy-roo again.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So Traeger's site is 2 miles away, basically. So from the start of the trail to our campsite was
from your little
day.
trailhead. Yeah.
So is the map relatively accurate? That trail is like 10 miles long, basically?
Yeah, your trail in, basically. Yep.
I would honestly
That's
say...
not from the foot of the mountain.
Yeah.
That's from say, that's where you started your day.
Yeah. I would probably say, we're here to go get Traeger. Let's go get Traeger and at least go look for him.
You want to check the site?
Mm-hmm. If I could have, if I could have some manly accompaniment by either Max or Kov over there.
I mean, we're here to do it, so I can go. But Kosurikov?
I mean, sure, but how late is it getting?
It's noon.
It's about midday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, by the time we get there and get back, we will have more than enough time.
Yeah, considering the Traeger site's really only 2 miles from the checkpoint, you were kind of situated in the middle of everything on purpose.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
That was the plan because you're here to find Traeger and figure out what happened.
Okay. Yeah, we can go over to the site.
Okay.
All right.
So you're going to head to the Traeger site.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we'll pack up some just basic hiking gear, snowshoes, the whole kabang and caboodle.
All right. Excuse me, my adult beverage. So you head to the Traeger site. It's about 2 miles. Because it's so calm, that calm kind of extends with you as you hike. You didn't really have any of that weather that you would expect. It's so eerie how just normal it seems. It almost seems like just snow at home and you're hiking up a hill.
That's weird.
As you reach the Traeger site, it's about 2 miles, so it shouldn't take you more than 30, maybe an hour tops, because of the weather, and you're going a little slow because you have equipment.
Put that back up.
So the 3 of you have headed to Traeger site. All right. Only 2 tents stand intact, with 3 neighboring plots lying abandoned. The same as your own site, the weather is eerily calm. Everything seems to lay dormant, simply waiting for you to explore. Of the 2 standing, 1 remains completely unblemished. The other, not so much, but you can't quite tell. And I have a map of Traeger's site. 1 second.
Beautiful.
Yep. Just double check that's the correct map. Yep. So this is kind of a rough sketch of what Traeger's site looks like. So you can get an idea of what might be best to check out. And that is now in the message.
It's downloading right now.
You're good. When you both have that up, let me know where you'd like to go.
I'm gonna go look at the decimated tents first. Like, as soon as I get there and I see like the tents like destroyed, I'll like rush over and start seeing if I can't identify anything.
There's really not even like actual tents left. You see a couple stakes in the ground. There's some tatters of fabric that looks waterproof. There's really not much left in those plots. It's a little weird.
A little bit. Do I see anything like identifying like this is Traeger's?
You can roll.
Yeah, I will do that then.
Go ahead and roll investigation, and let's go with intelligence.
Yeah.
I'll go with the standing up tent.
Which one? There's 2. One is unblemished, and one has something on it you can't quite identify unless you look closely.
I got 2 successes.
One that has something on it that I can't identify.
You got 2 successes, Riley?
Yep.
There's nothing you see there that could be triggers. It literally is just tents used to be here, but something tore them down with no care for like taking care of the equipment.
Can I make another investigation roll to like see, like, can I tell if it's like an animal did it or something like that?
Sure, same roll. Caitlin, go ahead and give me an investigation and intelligence, please.
1 success.
1 success. It does almost look like animal-like in nature, like how that tent was just torn up. And it's a little strange to you that tent, these twin tents are torn up, but the other 2 are perfectly fine.
Yeah, that's kind of weird.
Investigation and what? Sorry.
Investigation and intelligence, please.
Oh.
Okay.
Three successes.
Nice. Caitlin, as a biologist, you look at the tent. That's a blood spatter. That is straight up a blood spatter. It is rust colored. It's definitely old. You know, it's a little weather worn, but that tent, though it is still standing, has some blood on it, like a good amount.
But
has to be from more than one person. As a biologist, you would be able to understand, or a really bad artery.
Oh God, Anna.
I will rush over.
Don't touch anything.
Wait, what is it, Kov? Is it Traeger?
No.
So, question for you, Kosurikov. Kosurikov? Yeah. Are you taking any samples or trying to take any samples of that blood to maybe test or compare to any files, see if you can, or are you just letting it go because it's blood?
No, I'll definitely take out my sampling kit, which I was going to say I was going to bring most of my stuff with me, but
I figured you would. You're a biologist.
Yep. So I'll start taking my sampling kit out, and I'll tell Anna, don't touch anything. Not until I can get some samples, okay?
I'm not an idiot. Go do your job.
Okay. So
This is Anna, be a bitch.
So from the way that the blood splatter looks, can I tell that it came from multiple people based on...
Yeah, because you had 3 successes, it was either a really bad artery spray aimed at the tent, or it was probably from a couple people.
Okay. Well, I will at least take three samples from different areas of the splatter.
Awesome. Just make sure you keep track of how many vials or dishes you use.
Yep, and I'm about to take note of that now. So,
Awesome.
I'm gonna put under this 1, 4. Okay, so
sorry.
3,
You're good.
4. What is the difference between the vials and the petri dishes?
The vial, think of it's just a small, like little vial that would sit neatly in a rack, and the petri dish is a round, flat dish. Usually, you would use like for like a like foliage sample,
Yeah.
or something like that, or like something from an animal. But vials are usually used for liquids.
Yep. And I'll use up 3 of the vials for different samples of blood across the splatter.
So are you just scraping and adding a little bit of fluid to make it liquid?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or at
Alright.
least like taking a big Q-tip that probably came with the vial
Yeah.
and putting
Yeah.
it in.
Sorry, I should have added that in there. Yeah, we'll say you have a little 25 count of swabs.
Or Q-tips, or like the long...
Yeah, some kind of swab. Yeah. Swab kit.
Okay, hang on.
You good?
Mm-hmm. Riley is stepping away for a second.
All good.
I will... Well, obviously I'll have gloves on at this point.
Yes.
How many pairs of gloves are in the kit?
We'll say a standard set of like 10.
Sweet. I am going to take off my gloves and put them... I'm just gonna fucking put it in a petri dish.
Okay.
Just to like keep it all together and not contaminate anything.
Sounds good.
1 dish. And then I'm going to put on another pair, and can I go into the tent? Or...
Absolutely. The tents are not closed or sealed in any way. You can absolutely go in.
All right. I'm going to carefully like open up the flap of the tent and look inside.
Okay. As you look inside, you see sleeping gear, a hiking pack that looks very similar to your own sets of gear. There's just, pack, clothing. It's a little messy, but it's not entirely disorganized. It just looks like somebody left in a rush. But for the most part, it looks fairly lived in, which is a little strange for you guys. Roll an intelligence plus investigation, please.
Sweet. One success and no fails.
Good enough. It almost looks like someone's been consistently staying in this tent since they got up here.
Okay. And then
like, even though you have decimated, blood's still out there. That's still old. At least by a week. Mm-hmm. But inside the tent looks like somebody's been staying here, like, on the daily. Mm. Because there's not enough, like, debris in the tent to say that, like, it's been undisturbed. Like, the bag looks slept in, everything's still where it's supposed to be. So that's a little weird to you.
So I think what I'm trying to ask is,
sure,
even after the blood got there, it's still...
there's past the blood spatter date, someone was still in the tent.
Okay, sweet.
So Max is just kind of checking out the area with you guys, and Max has stayed pretty silent. Max is very stoic now after what Kosurikov discovered. So as the biologist Kosurikov, if you want to communicate kind of what just happened.
Would you like me to update you, Riley?
Yeah, please.
Okay. So I took samples of the blood with vials, and then I changed out my gloves, put those in the petri dish just in case, and then I put on new gloves and I went inside the tent, and it looks like the blood was there and someone kept on living in the tent after the blood was there.
So maybe they got attacked, they ran away, came back, and stayed here for a little bit.
Is that Anna or?
That's Anna talking. We're at the Research Comm Center mess, correct?
No, you were at the general tent that is bloodstained.
Okay, so the northern tent, not the southern tent.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's go search the southern tent.
The comms tent?
Yeah, maybe like a message or something was left there.
All right, so you're entering the unblemished tent. Are both of you going in there? Okay, cool. Max will follow just kind of closely behind. Max is mostly watching the terrain. Now that there's blood spatter, you kind of need someone on the lookout, so that's kind of what Max is doing. So Max will stand at the entrance of the tent and just be really quiet.
Okay.
All right, my cam just froze up, didn't it?
It did.
Okay, still hear me?
Yeah, I can still hear you
okay,
fine.
Perfect. 1 second. Oh God, no, don't freeze up me. All right, we're just gonna keep going. I apologize if I can't upload anything. My computer still says it's recording. So, you are in the unblemished tent. Inside the tent is a small version of a comms station. You have a portable desk with a radio, a general area map, a notebook, and a flash set of drawers. They're a little bent and out of shape, but 'tis the way. So you got a small, bent up, rusty looking set of drawers, portable desk, a map, a radio, and a notebook, and a flashlight.
Okay.
There's also a small safe, by the way.
Search inside the drawers.
You're gonna look in the drawers. In the drawers, you'll find an audio recorder.
Oh.
Play that audio.
Ha! How's that for a cliffhanger? Huh? So, this is the end of part 1, and we will start off on part 2 with what's on the tape. So you'll find out next week. Anyway, we had fun playing. I hope you guys enjoyed, and thanks for joining us in the House of Spoop, and, enjoy your nightmare.